So welcome to this video screen tutorial for primarily the Executive Officer on how to add, remove and edit members and members details within the new members register. So hi Nikki. So the first thing we need to do is log in, and I will be logging in for the purposes of this tutorial as you. So let's enter your email, the generic password, which will be changed as soon as you've had a chance to log in, and change that to a personal one for yourself. Okay, so we have logged in. So there's two things to notice. First of all, you'll see your name up in the top right hand corner, just confirming that you are logged in as yourself. And the second one is that this black bar appears here. Now, for people who have access to any functions of the website, this is the navigation bar that they'll need to know about. So, the first thing to notice is if we go to the register, all of the entries have this edit profile button when you're logged in as yourself, which means that you can go in, and I'll just quickly flick down because some of these might still be private addresses showing. All of them have edit profile. So let's just go to my profile to show you that in a bit more detail, because all my details are public. So you'll see there's my profile, and you as the Executive Officer can edit anyone's profile. Any information in their profile is accessible to you. You can change the privacy levels, edit, change, name, details, addresses, etc. Once you've made any changes that you need to or are required to make, you simply click Update Profile. Now, some of those fields that you can see as the Executive Officer, the members themselves can't see. At this stage, for instance, you can see that when we go into my profile, the region is not visible. Now we need to be able to access some of that information, and we can access that in the dashboard, which we're going to next. So for instance, if a member changes region, they can't update or change that themselves, but you can as the Executive Officer. We need to go into another part of the website to do that. So this is just for basic edits. Go into the NZAP register, click Edit Profile, make the changes you need, and update the profile. Okay, so that's the first piece. So the next piece is we now need to click this button up here which says New, and what that does is takes us into this area, Users area, in the back end of the website. So you can now see we're in WordPress Administration area. And for you, you're able to access this users panel here. So if we go to all users, what you'll see is that you can now see all of the current users logged into that members register. So again, let's just go to my profile first. Mine probably doesn't come up because I'm an administrator, so let's just go to yours, Executive Officer. So these are the category types up here. We've got all members, Communications Committee, Executive Officer, Newsletter Editor, etc. So if you hover, you can see we can go into Edit, anybody's profile, and that will take us into this Edit Profile area here. Alternatively, if we go back to all users, let's just pop into one of these, edit, and this will take us into the edit user area of the WordPress. Now if we just scroll down quickly to the particular fields here, you'll see that regions pops up. You can edit their proper membership type and other details here. So this is an important one for you. As you know from the database, those codes, Lower North Island, Upper North Island, etc., indicates the region. Now, if we go back to all, so obviously you can edit any information you need to in this area as well. That's an either or. It's just easier to just change address details and things, probably just in that members register area. So if we go to all users, firstly I'll show you how to delete a user. So I've set up a dummy profile called new user. So if we search here, search new, we get this profile here. Now as you can see, if you just hover on any profile, you can go into edit or you can go into delete. So let's just delete Mr. New User. It will ask you to confirm, delete all content. It does enable us to attribute content to another user if they've created pages and so on, but that's not a feature that we're using. So we just need to delete all content, confirm deletion. Okay. When it comes to adding a new user, again we can go to this button up here, new, or in the user panel we can go to add new here. Now there's a couple of steps to this, so we'll just step through them one at a time. So if we add new user, it will first ask us to just put these basic details in, because there's a couple of layers to users in the member register. Now let's recreate our Mr. New User. So the username always has to be the email address. And an email address is always required, and a unique email address for each individual user. If they have a website, we can put that in there. We're just going to create a password for this person, 1234, 1234. Understandably, that's a very weak password. If you're creating a new profile, you can actually create a unique password and have that sent to the new user by email. Or we can just use the generic password that we've been using for this setup process. Now this is important. This should always be subscriber. There's no need to ever change this, but you can see that there are a number of roles available within the NZAP website. For the purposes of just adding ordinary members who aren't on any of the committees, don't have access to editing any of the areas of the website, this should always be just subscriber. Now we add new user. So that sets up their basic profile and will pop us back to all users. Now we can either search for them again, or you'll see up here, once you've done that, new user created, just click on edit user. Now this will take us into the full panel, because there's what we call in WordPress a plugin, this UPME, which is all of the additional information that the members register contains. So let's just scroll down through these one at a time. Subscriber, as we talked about, we've got these details that have been brought across. The name publicly is always just going to default to first name, last name. Any information, we can change their password in this panel, and then we come down with this UPME fields to the actual address and so on information. So let's just add a couple of things in here. Let's add their region, Upper North Island, not registered with ACC, and we'll make their city Auckland. Now obviously at this point for a new member you'll be putting in all of their address details and so on. Let's just say that they do have a supervision contract. Now none of this stuff needs to be changed down here. We simply ignore everything. Once we get to user permissions, we just ignore all of those things. And then we click update user. And that will save those details. So we just go down and just look through those fields again, and you can see those fields have been saved. Now this next step is a little bit clumsy, but there are 3 steps required to now make that profile live in the members register. So we're now back with all users. We have to go back to that profile, and we have to do a few steps to make that profile live and visible within the the register. So the first step is you'll notice, and this is always a good thing to check, everyone will have role subscriber, so we've got that right. This is Mr. New User here. But you'll notice their approval status and activation status is missing. So how do we change that status? Well, up here you'll see we've got bulk actions and apply. So all we need to do is just click next to the new user. Firstly, we activate profile, apply. Doesn't matter which one you do first, activate or approve. And you'll see we've got activation status active. Bulk actions, we need to approve their profile as well. Tick on the box and apply. And then you'll see we've got both approval and activation status. And the last step is just to go back into their profile and just double check when we scroll down to the UPME section that everything is still as it needs to be. And indeed it is. So this person is now all ready to go. We didn't change anything, but let's just update user just in case. Now of course the last thing to check is to just go in back to the website. So we go back to the website here and double check that Mr. New User is showing up as he should be in the register. Now sometimes this can take a little bit of time to update. So there he is, new user, and of course as before, because we've got access, we can go in and we can edit and view their profile with all of that information there. So that's how you set up, edit and delete members from the members register. There are a few steps to it, but once you've done it a few times you will get used to it, and hopefully, Nikki, that will enable you to get started with the members register. That's the end of the video tutorial. Thank you very much, and I'll just make sure that I log out as you before I close that. There we go.